Good afternoon, you guys. I hope you guys had a very good Memorial Day weekend. Today's video, in honor of Pride Week, I thought that I would share my coming out story. And
I'm just gonna be in the video.
Yeah, she's just gonna be here. You can ask me questions and stuff.
Yeah, I can do
if
that.
a thing comes up, yeah, so make it more like a conversation. But I want to preface this by saying everybody's story is different. Everybody's family is different. Families don't always handle it the proper way. So I feel like...
Is there a proper way?
There's not really a proper way, you know? As long as you meet them with kindness and love, I feel like there's not an improper way. But I'm going to tell the story truthfully. But this is not me going after my family at all for their reaction or anything that happened after the fact, because they love me and they love us. I love my dad. I love my mom. I love my family. I've never wanted to sick anybody on them for the way that they responded. That's just the way they felt at the time. But now they love us. They support us. They don't give one shit.
Well, I wasn't in the picture when you came out.
Obviously, yeah. So,
But they do love me.
they do love you, yes. Anyways, after blowing your big old head up. So when I first came out, it wasn't necessarily voluntarily. Voluntary, because...
What did you say?
Voluntarily. It wasn't necessarily voluntarily.
Oh my god.
It started when I had a girlfriend in freshman year. Nobody knew my girlfriend was my girlfriend except for my friends. A lot of my friends started to find out because I was very honest with my friends. I'm a very honest person. So I mean, I started dating girls in like 6th grade, but who really like dates people in 6th grade? So those don't really necessarily count. But that's when I first started realizing like I could kiss a couple girls and feel good about it.
In 6th grade?
In 6th grade, yeah.
Dang!
I know. Girls is players too. When I got to be a freshman in high school was my first...
Wait, how old were you in 6th grade?
I'm not doing that math.
So, you probably had to have been like 12?
Is Bubba
11?
going into 5th grade?
Yeah, you had to have been like 11 or 12.
12 or 13? Because he's going to 5th grade. He's
I mean, I
about to
guess
be
you
12.
can kiss somebody at that age.
It doesn't matter, okay? Look, I don't care what you did as a kid. We're all curious.
Sips tea.
I first started like really experimenting, as they like to say, in 6th grade with girls, and I could tell I didn't really like men or boys or stuff like that. Like, they just kind of rubbed me raw. I wasn't super attracted to them, and it's funny because a lot of the guys I was attracted to were very feminine looking to me. When I look back at them, like now that they're grown men and have beards, I'm like, ew, what was I thinking? But then again, you know, whatever. Freshman year, I broke up with my boyfriend and started dating my best friend, who was a girl, and we kept it a secret from our parents because we felt like we wouldn't be supported. Because back then, my family wasn't a judgmental family at all, but it was kind of like, it's okay if other people do it, but it's not okay if you do it type thing, in multiple different aspects, not just like the LGBTQIA plus community. It was a lot. Yeah, it was kind of one of those things that's like, it's okay if other people do it, but it's not okay if you do it because you're my daughter, you're my granddaughter, you know, whatever. So we kept it a secret. My family wasn't necessarily super religious or anything, but my grand family was, like my grandma, my great aunt and stuff. So I knew they definitely wouldn't approve.
They still don't.
No, but my immediate family does. My grandma and my grand aunt, they're not supportive very much at all. They don't like hate you, but they hate you to your face. Does that make sense? They're like, oh, we love you, but that's wrong and you're gonna go to hell. I'm like, okay, see you there. But I hope she doesn't see oh, snap.
Oh, well, I mean, it's the truth.
It is. I mean, don't be fake, I guess. Love me for me and my family for who we are. You don't need to change us. Anyways, freshman year, right? Popped off. We were sneaking out. We went to the same high school, so we were like sneaking around in the band rooms and all that jazz, trying to like hide it from people. Some of our immediate like close friends knew, and they supported us obviously. But one day she was staying at my house. We were having our little sleepover and we were watching a movie, and my dad walked in and I was like spooning her, and so we were cuddling, and he walks in and he looks and he's like, y'all need to cut that out. That's not right. Something like that. It's a long time ago, but that's what I remember. And Dad, if you're watching this, if you remember it differently, please, like, I would love to hear your side of it. But I ran out after he closed the door, and I was like in shock. I was like, he just said that I was super embarrassed, because I was not embarrassed that he caught us. I was embarrassed that what he had said in front of my girlfriend at the time. So I like ran out after him, and me and my dad have always been very open with each other. So like we always speak our minds. I don't keep something from my dad because he's my dad. So when he said that, I ran out and I was like, it is right, because I'm gay and that's my girlfriend. And he's like, no, you're not. And I said, I absolutely am. And we got into the no, you're not, yes, you are, no, you're not, yes, I am little debacle. So then I like cried and cried and cried in the bathroom before I went back into my room where my girlfriend was. So I bet it was really awkward for her at the time. So we went in there, and you know how first like relationships go, they're always a hot ass mess. Always a hot ass mess. So I don't really remember all that happened, because there's a lot of layers. But after my family found out, her family found out, because I think she told them. I think I may have pressured that, because I refuse to be like somebody's secret. So I may have pressured that. I don't quite remember exactly how that went. It's not my story to tell, it's hers. Or I'm sorry, it's his story to tell. But yeah, so after that, my family's rule was basically like, after I told them, I was like, I'm not changing. You can't change me. I like who I like and I love who I love, and there's absolutely nothing anybody can do about that. And so they said, fine, if you're gonna, live that way, then we just don't want to see it. We don't want it brought into our home. It almost felt like they didn't want like even me to tell my own sisters, which of course I did, because I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna lie to people about who I am. So that happened. I was met with a lot of like pushback and the classic, it's just a phase, she'll grow out of it. 2 years later, I got another girlfriend, and this is when it changed things. I was a junior in high school, and my girlfriend was a senior in high school, and her parents found out that she was gay. We were over at each other's houses often, even though my parents were like, I don't want it in my house. I just kind of kept it like out of sight, out of mind. We were at her parents' house one day, and we were cuddling on the bed watching a movie, but my best friend was also there. But her dad walked in, and he just smiled, and like it was very like validating to us, because he didn't have to say anything. And he just smiled and walked out, and we think that he knew at that day. We think it was like confirmed. But when she came out officially, I don't think she even got the opportunity to come out. I think her mom could also tell, but she was less approving of it. So long story short, she got kicked out of her own home. She was brand new in town. She didn't have many friends. She had me and my friends. So I was contacting our friends, and she was staying with my friends. Kind of just like house hopping, couch surfing, whatever you want to call it. And she came over to my house one day after work, and we were just chit-chatting in our room, and my dad came in, and he started talking with us, and she went over her like background and all the things she's been through in her life, and my dad was doing the same, and they were having a nice little bonding moment. And my dad's not stupid. My family's really not stupid. So I'm sure he knew whenever I was bringing girls over, he probably automatically assumed like, oh, that could be Merce's girlfriend, So, I mean, he had a lot of pushback in the very beginning, but as the years passed, less and less pushback. But after this like heart to heart they had, my dad went outside to smoke a cigarette, and my girlfriend's car was out there, and she had gone to the laundromat that day, so all her clothes were in baskets in her back seat. And my dad texted me, and he was like, hey, come outside real quick. So like I went outside, and he was like, why are all of so-and-so's clothes in the back of their car? And I was like, oh, she had to go to the laundromat to do laundry. And he was like, well, why? And then I told him the whole spiel. Like, she got kicked out of her home. Her family was thinking she was doing things when she wasn't, like drugs. And it's kind of like a stigma. Like, oh, if you're gay, then you're a horrible person. You must also be doing drugs. Stupid. But after I told him that, he was like, go get her keys. She's going to stay with us. And like immediately I was like, that's my girlfriend, right, Dad? You're saying that my girlfriend can move in with us? And he was like, I know, I'm not stupid. Like, go get her keys, get her clothes. She's going to stay with us. And I was like, oh. And that was kind of like an eye-opening moment for me. I was like my family does love me, and it is validating. And they just want the best for people in general. They, my family's caring. Even though they were raised a specific way and their initial thought was like negative, things change.
I think with your dad, you were his first daughter, and that was like a big, he wanted grandbabies.
He had so
And
many
he's like,
expectations.
oh, now I can't have grandbabies. But, that's not the truth. So, I think that was one of his biggest.
I agree. Yeah, I think so too. I think he had, he had all these expectations for me as
But
his
now
eldest
he's got
daughter.
a beautiful grandbaby.
Baby boat. He's got his baby boat. But so after that girlfriend came, lived with us. They didn't have any rules for us. We, it wasn't one of those things where like I'm going to sit you down and treat you like a child type thing. We knew our left and right limits. We didn't need them to be spoken again. We slept in the same bed, in the same room. We were allowed to close our doors. Not like we were going to get pregnant or anything. But after that relationship, they were pretty set. Like, it's probably not a phase anymore. We're just going to love her and support her and whoever she's with, So now, years and years pass, and I'm only dating girls. On Thanksgiving of
17.
Thanksgiving of 2017, I took...
You were gone in 18.
Yeah, you're right. I took Brittany home with me, and I said that, I wanted her to meet the family because I felt like we were getting pretty close and pretty serious. And
we were in the military.
Yeah. So we went home, visited my home for Thanksgiving. And we were on our way back from our nanny's house. I laughed and I was joking. I was like, oh, how do y'all like Brittany? Asking the parents because it was just them and me in the car. And they're like, oh, we like her. She's sweet, whatever. And I was like, all right, good, because I'm going to marry her one day. And they laughed at me because we had only been dating for we had just started dating.
Yeah, we started dating
in November.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, we were together before that, but it was...
We started talking in September. So it wasn't it's that lesbian rule. It's first date,
but it was
bringing
just
in the U-Haul.
It stuck. It was so strong.
Natural.
Yeah,
It's natural.
Natural, very natural.
It was easy. So they laughed at me for that because we had only been dating for 2 weeks officially at that time. But yeah, we've been stuck together since, and my family supported it 110%. It was a little messy in the beginning. I've had family tell me I can't have babies because I'm gay. I've had family tell me I'm going to hell because I'm gay, and I hate the lines I love you, but you're gonna go to hell. I've heard it multiple times. Or because we have different preferences that aren't always feminine or girls' clothes. We've gotten pushback from that from certain family members even today. So it's still a battle, but honestly, in my eyes, if you don't love me and my family for who we are, then that's a you problem and that's not an us problem. I'll cut you off quicker than a fuse to dynamite. I don't care. Snip, snip. If you don't approve of us, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Yeah, so that's how I came out, and I support everybody. I think everyone should come out. I don't think you should hide who you are inside, because then you're never gonna find happiness. And the longer you wait, the longer you're waiting to find your forever person. And even if your family disapproves, there's more family for you to find out there that's gonna have your back and support you. Happy Pride Month. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos of just us being us and not knowing what we're doing next, subscribe, turn on the bell so you know when we post our next video, and hope you guys have a good week.
Oh my God.
Peace.